These guys using this Bear Bond, it's just like super tape they put on here. It really sticks these panels together and keeps them from blowing off of there.
This is the second restrictor plate race of the year for the NASCAR Nationwide Series. The last race, well, how about the 20 car for Tony Stewart at Daytona to begin the season? Stewart would lead 46 laps. The car behind him, his teammate, would lead 47, and that's the way they would come down. Tony Stewart, Kyle Busch, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. 1, 2, 3, and smoke, they called him. Would smoke him at Daytona, winning for the third time in the season opener. Take a look at his career restrictor plate races. You see there, second, first non-DNF in 5 races here. He has come, last year was the first time he had finished a race here at Talladega in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. And in fact, in 23 races here at this racetrack, Tony Stewart has never won at Talladega. He's finished second a total of 7 times. Now, what about the strategy, guys, as the laps click down here? They may have made their last pit stop if we stay green. Let's listen into their radios.
Without this yellow, if we pit right now, we're 1 lap to the good on fuel. Well, the only thing I'm thinking about, though, is, I mean, it's going to be harder to get runs on guys if there's only 5 or 6 of us that are not hurt. It's going to be a lot harder to pass. It's going to be get in line, stay in line. It's going to be hard to get that run, I believe. Okay, makes sense.
DJ, you've been in that situation before after the big one where there are just a few cars that aren't significantly damaged, and how does it impact what you do as a driver?
Yeah, you certainly are going to look at things a lot differently. You know that somebody getting a big run, if you stay on the bottom of the racetrack right now, that outside lane getting a big run is a lot less likely to happen because there's not that many cars that aren't damaged, and for them to make that work, it takes 5 or 6 cars for that outside to really work. So it'll be interesting to see if Tony just puts this thing on the yellow line and stays there for these remaining laps.
Toyota, 3 Chevrolets, and a Dodge. Taking the green flag, 43 laps to go at Talladega. Glad to have you with us. Tony Stewart has led 38 laps 5 different times. There have been 15 lead changes among 9 different drivers, and the big one involving 16 cars on lap 71, heavily damaging 8 of the top 10 drivers in the NASCAR Nationwide Series points.
I've also been in these situations before after big wrecks and you don't have as many, and you think, well, things are going to kind of calm down, and it just gets wilder and wilder because you got so many guys now that think that this is their chance to win a race. You know, David Stremme and these other guys are sitting there, hey, this is my opportunity to win one of these races.
And Brad Daugherty, Talladega has always been known as the land of opportunity for some driver to finally make a name for himself.
I'm going to tell you, the fans at home need to get up on the seat and pull for that 5th place car, number 81, DJ Kennington, out of St. Thomas, Canada. This young man, I went by the garage yesterday. He was laying underneath that race car with oil and grease all over him, working his rear end off to be ready for this race today. So it'd be good to get up on the couch and pull for this young man, give him a boost in the arm today.
Yeah, it's great to see this 81 car having a good run, Brad. And NASCAR is penalizing the 99 car for getting on the racetrack, what they call improperly. They're really watching that now after we saw that last big wreck.
They're going to bring him down pit road, stop him. We told they were going to thinking about stopping him and explaining the rule, which obviously cost them very valuable time here under the green. Again, in the drivers' meeting, they told him you got to come over to turn 2, keep all 4 tires below the yellow line and 2 above it, and then finally all 4 above it as you exit turn 2.
Definitely got a different race going on right now than what we had before the big wreck. It's going to be a little more tactical here, Dale, because I don't think they're going to, like we heard Tony say on his radio, you don't have these big runs coming from behind, so you got to really be, you got to pick and choose your times when you try to make that pass.
Yeah, and you know what could happen right here because they don't have that many back there. It is possible for a couple of these guys, and if Junior can stay that close to Tony and get out there, we could see a little bit of a breakaway and these 2 guys settle it by themselves. I don't think that will happen because we've still got some fast cars back here, but man, they are glued together right there.
What do you feel when
you get a turn 2, Dave, just to make them happy?
What do you feel when some guys got their bumper right against
you? Can blend in the spires meeting down here in 1, but now it's turn 2, so just keep it on the bottom. Steel's coming off down through the tri-oval.
you know, you're basically feeling your RPMs go up. When somebody's that close and giving you that much of a shove, it's a great feeling, because it's just like you just got a boost of horsepower. You've got a bigger restrictor plate at that time than what the rest of them do.
Make sure everything's okay. Coming around you on the outside here.
Now this is the way NASCAR wants these guys to enter the racetrack. You see all four wheels below the line until they get to turn 2.
Right in the middle of 1 and 2. Near outside.
Now you see he's allowed 2 tires up, and then finally all 4 tires up top of your screen where you could come back on the racetrack.
Orange car right there.
I will say that's something different. Now, you know, obviously raced here last year, and we were able to put our left side tires on that white line as we left pit road and got down to turn 1. You're able to put your left side tires on that, which we've discussed that many times over the years. Why not just stay on the apron and drive around over there? You know, it's about getting up to speed. And even though this is a very wide racetrack, it would eliminate that very scenario that we saw just a short time ago.
Each track has their own rule for blending on the racetrack, and I've been in many drivers' meetings here at Talladega, and it seems to me it's always an issue. Some driver will always have a question about exactly what do you mean? What do we have to do with that blend line until we get to turn 2?
Up front, Tony Stewart, Dale Earnhardt Jr. How about David Strimmy in that 64 car? Strimmy has never won a NASCAR Nationwide Series race, making his 110th start. And he's had basically 4 top 10s the last 6 races, including a 5th at Las Vegas. But now these guys up top 2 are beginning to pull away a little bit from 3rd and 4th.
They're really working together as good as they can, and I'm sure they would like to have a little distance. I don't think that they're going to be able, like Dale said, get completely away from these guys, but they can at least get out there some and maybe run a couple of laps before they catch back up.
Inside of 40 laps to go at Talladega. Can Tony Stewart hold on? He's never won in Cup or Nationwide at NASCAR's fastest superspeedway. We'll find out. Back after these messages and a word from our ABC station.